7 cities that stand vibrant in the modern world, yet each hides a remarkable past that ignited growth. About 400 years ago, every one of them looked and felt completely different. So let's play a quick game. Out of these 3 options, which modern city do you think this is? Share your guess in the comments and keep watching to discover the answer. Now, let's begin our journey through time. In the 16th century, London bustled with energy as the capital of Tudor England. Narrow, timber-framed houses leaned precariously over cobbled streets, their upper stories nearly touching above the lanes. The scent of open-air markets filled the air, fresh bread, smoked fish, and damp wool, while merchants ferried goods along the busy Thames. The Globe Theatre hosted plays by William Shakespeare, drawing crowds from every walk of life, and music spilled from taverns where traveling minstrels played lutes late into the night. Street hawkers cried their wares, and apprentices hurried through twisting alleys as church bells marked the passing hours. During harsh winters, the Thames froze solid, transforming into the site of famous frost fairs where entire markets sprang up on the ice. Visitors marveled at stalls selling roasted meats and mulled wine, played games on the frozen surface, and even visited makeshift pubs that stood upon the river itself. These celebrations captured the resilient spirit of Londoners, who turned adversity into festival and legend. The Tudor monarchy maintained a firm grip on power, with Queen Elizabeth I overseeing a city marked by both cultural brilliance and the constant threat of plague. Outbreaks emptied neighborhoods and shuttered theaters, yet London remained a magnet for traders, artists, and scholars. Printing presses spread new ideas. Coffeehouses began to appear as gathering places for debate, and grand pageants celebrated victories at sea. By the close of the century, London stood poised to become the heart of a global empire, its restless energy already hinting at the mighty city it would become. By the mid-16th century, Jerusalem flourished under Ottoman rule. Pilgrims from 3 major faiths, Judaism, Christianity, and Islam, crowded the old city, where the recently rebuilt walls of Sultan Suleiman the Magnificent offered protection and grandeur. The city's markets overflowed with spices, silks, incense, and freshly baked bread, their aromas mixing with the distant call of minarets as traders shouted in a chorus of languages. Lanterns swung gently above the stone alleys while storytellers entertained listeners with tales of prophets and kings, and musicians played traditional melodies on strings and drums that echoed through narrow lanes. The Church of the Holy Sepulchre held a remarkable tradition. For centuries, a single Muslim family safeguarded its keys, a practice meant to preserve peace among rival Christian denominations. Travelers marveled at this enduring symbol of coexistence in a city often marked by tension and conflict. Trade caravans converged here from across the Mediterranean and Arabia, making Jerusalem both a sacred destination and a bustling hub of commerce and diplomacy. Scholars debated scripture in madrasas and monasteries, while artisans crafted intricate mosaics and carved wooden panels for temples and homes. Pilgrims paused to drink from public fountains as priests, rabbis, and imams passed in the busy streets, embodying the city's layered history and spiritual complexity. Even in the quiet of night, oil lamps flickered in windows while the scent of warm bread lingered, reminding every visitor that Jerusalem never truly slept. If you are enjoying this journey through time, consider subscribing so you never miss another of our videos. In the 16th century, Damascus stood as a jewel of the Ottoman Empire and a crucial stop along the Silk Road. Merchants from Asia and Europe filled its perfumed bazaars, where Damascene steel and fine textiles were prized commodities. The air carried the aromas of cardamom, cinnamon, and rosewater, and the rhythmic clang of metalworkers echoed through the souks. Spice merchants bargained in many tongues, while storytellers recited epic poems to crowds sipping thick coffee, creating a vibrant soundtrack to daily life. The city's famed Waterwheels powered fountains and irrigation channels, an engineering marvel that impressed travelers and ensured a steady water supply. Visitors described them as vast wooden giants turning with the current of the Barada River, feeding elaborate gardens hidden behind high stone walls where jasmine and citrus trees scented the evening air. Elegant courtyard houses featured intricate wooden mashrabiyah screens, offering privacy while allowing cool breezes to circulate. The great Umayyad Mosque dominated the skyline, a testament to centuries of faith and craftsmanship. Scholars gathered here to teach and debate, while musicians played the oud in dimly lit coffeehouses and poets performed verses that celebrated love and heroism. This rich blend of scholarship, art, and trade gave Damascus a reputation as one of the most sophisticated cities of its time, a place where cultures met and flourished. In the mid-1500s, Istanbul thrived as the capital of the Ottoman Empire. The magnificent Suleimaniye Mosque had just been completed, joining the legendary Hagia Sophia as a centerpiece of the skyline. Domed bathhouses filled with steam, bustling coffeehouses alive with conversation, and spice-filled markets created a lively daily rhythm as merchants and travelers arrived from 3 continents. The air was rich with the scent of roasting chestnuts and strong Turkish coffee, while musicians played reed flutes and stringed instruments along the bustling quays. Its formidable seawalls, which had already withstood countless sieges, stood as a reminder of the city's strategic might and layered history from Byzantium to Constantinople and beyond. Ships crowded the Golden Horn, their sails reflecting the morning sun as dock workers shouted in Turkish, Greek, and Italian to coordinate the offloading of goods. Fishermen hauled in nets heavy with the day's catch, and traders from far-flung lands exchanged stories in dozens of languages. Along the quays and through the labyrinthine markets, merchants sold silk from Persia, furs from Russia, and glassware from Venice. Coffee culture flourished, with patrons gathering to exchange news, play backgammon, and listen to poets recite verses late into the evening. Istanbul in this era was more than a capital. It was the vibrant crossroads of the known world, a city alive with voices and ideas from every corner of the empire, and a beacon of art, science, and faith that continues to shape its identity today. Around 1600, Varanasi was the spiritual heart of the Mughal Empire. Pilgrims flocked to the Ghats along the Ganges River to bathe at sunrise, while Sanskrit scholars chanted ancient hymns in temples and schools. The morning air shimmered with the sound of temple bells and the scent of burning incense as holy men offered prayers on the riverbanks. Merchants in brightly colored garments sold flowers and offerings to travelers preparing for sacred rituals. On these same river steps, cremation rituals took place beside docks where merchants loaded cargo, a striking juxtaposition of commerce and devotion. Boatmen guided pilgrims across the gentle current, singing folk songs that carried across the water. Silk weavers worked intricate patterns on looms in crowded workshops, and jewelers traded gemstones that would travel to courts across Asia. The city's narrow alleys were alive with the fragrance of spiced sweets and the chatter of market vendors. Renowned for its scholarship, Varanasi hosted debates in philosophy, mathematics, and astronomy, drawing thinkers from distant kingdoms. Storytellers recited epic poetry, while musicians performed ragas that still echo in Indian classical music today. Monastic schools safeguarded ancient manuscripts, and artists painted vivid scenes of Hindu epics on temple walls. The city thrived as a center of learning, artistry, and religious life, embodying a unique blend of sacred tradition and vibrant market culture that has endured for centuries. In the 16th century, Cairo was a vital link between Africa, the Middle East, and Europe. The Khan el-Khalili Bazaar bustled with merchants selling coffee, gold, and spices, while the grand mosques of Sultan Hassan and Al-Azhar dominated the city's skyline. Narrow lanes twisted through neighborhoods where craftsmen hammered copper and children played beneath stone archways, their laughter mixing with the calls of merchants and the distant music of street performers. The aroma of freshly baked bread and roasted meats drifted through the warm air. Ingenious Norias, or giant waterwheels, lifted Nile water into reservoirs, providing an early form of public water distribution that amazed visitors. These great wooden machines turned day and night, feeding fountains and public baths that kept the city lively and cool even in the height of summer. Travelers described the sight of these massive wheels creaking rhythmically as both mesmerizing and essential to the city's life. Al-Azhar University flourished as a center of Islamic scholarship, attracting students and thinkers from across the Muslim world. Libraries brimmed with manuscripts, and debates on law, science, and philosophy animated its courtyards. Coffee houses provided places for conversation and music, where poets and scholars exchanged ideas late into the night. Cairo stood as a beacon of knowledge, trade, and culture, a city where ideas from 3 continents met and mingled under the warm Egyptian sun. In the late Muromachi and early Edo periods, Kyoto remained Japan's imperial capital and cultural heart. The city's tea houses glowed with lantern light, while no theater and elegant tea ceremonies reflected a refined aesthetic. Wooden machiya townhouses lined narrow streets, their latticework glowing softly in the evening air. The fragrance of cedar and the faint sound of a bamboo flute created an atmosphere of quiet elegance that travelers recorded with awe. During the annual Gion festival, thousands of paper lanterns illuminated the streets, creating a magical spectacle that drew people from across the region. Merchants sold sweet rice treats and silk fabrics as music and chanting filled the warm summer night, and children chased fireflies through the crowd. The scent of grilled fish and incense from nearby shrines mingled in the humid air, adding to the sensory wonder. Samurai and shogun officials maintained a delicate balance of power with the imperial court, while artisans and poets filled Kyoto with creativity. Calligraphers honed their craft in serene studios, and temple gardens offered tranquil retreats for contemplation. The city thrived as a center of art and philosophy, where every street corner revealed a shrine, a workshop, or a small theater. This harmony of tradition and artistry made Kyoto a living symbol of Japanese culture that continues to captivate the imagination today, a place where history and beauty intertwined at every turn.